Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Spicy Sisters podcast. I am Renette Upson Bush.
Hey, this is your number one Grace Girl Farrah. How's everybody doing out there?
I'm Latoya Frazier, known as your CEO partner.
Hi, I'm Simply Tammy.
Hello, it is Coach Gail Benson, your favorite certified cognitive behavior coach.
Yes, yes. So we are super excited to be back. Part 2, Timeless Bonds, Nurturing Friendships at Our Big Age. Okay. Last week, baby, it was off the chain, and this week it will be the same. So let's talk about these friendships. And long-term friendships among Black women over 40 can be challenging to maintain due to a variety of factors that are brought upon by societal pressures, and so unresolved conflict and communication, evolving life priorities, because we know at 40 plus we start getting all kinds of priorities, societal expectations and stereotypes that people have with Black women, like we're catty, we just can't get along. Then we have the thing of competing, comparing, and contrasting. Also, having dealt with so many traumas, that also can be an issue as well with the friendships and people getting attitudes and mood swings. And then comparing the successes, the dynamics of the friendship. Well, she got this degree and she don't. All of that kind of stuff as well. And then not being intentional with your friendships. That's also an issue for many friendships that we have as Black women. So despite these challenges, though, as Black women over 40 plus, we can build deep relationships, and many of us want deeper relationships and want to be around women who want to do more, be more, and have had those different experiences that maybe we want to have. And so what we want to talk about is actually addressing those issues and also communicating, because that becomes a problem. Not only communicating, here's the big issue right here: forgiveness. Because a lot of people struggle with forgiveness. And forgiveness is for you, because if you keep holding it in and not talking about it, and the other person has gone on with their life and you haven't said anything, how do they know? So let us talk about really valuing our friendships and how to sustain them and nurture them at this big age. And we're going to do it in the spicy way. Let's go. Let's go.
Yes, let's do it. Listen, we already have people in this chat that I'm saying hi to, ladies. We have Lily who's in here. And we have KWE Essentials. Hey, how you all doing? Thank you for jumping on with us tonight. It's Spice Night.
Yes, it is.
Yes. I love that recap that you just did, Renette. We have so much more to cover. I mean, this, friendships, because, it can expound into so many things, because honestly, friendship is family and it's community. It's so much that goes with this, right? And so I think that it is so important because, we have to love people. We've got that, we leave that out in so many ways and so many aspects. Right. And I think that this has really opened our eyes to the people around us, to what's going on in our life right now. This came up in the right season for us.
Definitely.
So not only are we talking about this, but we're learning as we talk about this.
Correct.
We are.
Correct.
I love it. And so with that being said, like Farrah said, it is so important for us to talk about it, because there's so many things that are unspoken, and we want to uncover those unspoken things. And how do we move past the trauma, the hurt, the putting your business out there, and all of that type of stuff after you have had these friendships to fall apart? Do you all think that the lack of intentionality, is that really a big issue in the long-term friendships? Have we gotten so comfortable with one another that we really don't put that friendship in a space and place to uphold it and make sure it's valued. Because a lot of times as we get busy, we have our kids, maybe you have some new friendships, but you had this friendship for a long time, and the person
Right.
feels like, oh well, no, they always offer such and such and such, and they ain't
Mm-hmm.
invite me. And in our case, we have our group here, Spicy Season Sisters, and because we're doing what we're doing, we have to spend a lot of time together. So, we may not have been able to nurture the friendships like we normally do.
Right.
What are you supposed to do? How are your friends supposed to feel? If they're saying something to you about it, I feel this kind of way. Well, you don't never have time for me.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
What's your answer?
Oh,
I think
that's
it's
a good one.
about having an understanding as grown women, understanding that there's certain levels and layers to our lives that we're not always involved in. And when you're in these relationships, did you start out or did you grow and learn how to give that friend, that sister, the space to grow, even if some of that space is outside of you? So even if you didn't start out like that, and most of us, some of our timeless bonds, I have a best friend, been my best friend over 35 years. And I will tell you that we have had so many different interactions and involvements with each other. And we've gone through a lot in life together, and we've gone through a lot in life apart. But we're intentional about allowing each other the space to grow in those areas of our lives that we may not be a part of. And I think that's what people struggle to find that balance, because sometimes we start feeling personal. We don't take ourselves outside of the matrix. We always have ourselves involved in looking at what everyone else is doing that does not include us, instead of focusing on, if they're doing that right now, I could be focused on doing what for myself and finding out how to support my friend in what she's doing over there. It may not necessarily be you being by her side 24/7, kicking the willy bobo, as they used to say, but it may be you allowing her to have that space and grow in another layer of her life, so that she can be the best person she needs to be. And your friendship duty is to allow her the space to do that. And I think lines get blurred there because people start feeling very personal and start feeling left out. And we need to start doing something that we don't like doing. We need to turn that microscope around and look at ourselves and say, why am I this way? Why am I clamoring and so needy to have all of her time? Why am I taking ownership of this person? We don't own anyone. We have the pleasure and the gift of sharing space and time and life with these people. So we have to look at ourselves and try to understand, why do we feel that way? Why do we feel alienated when our BFFs and our best friends and our boss besties are growing in other areas of their lives?
I
Yeah.
love that. That was so good, Gail. And then she was speaking, and what I see, I don't know if y'all feel this way. Okay, we're busy women, busy lives, also dealing with many and every other thing and all the kids and stuff. I really find myself in a space where it's very hard for me to deal with needy friendships. It's hard at this space and place. And then I feel like some of my friends may feel like, oh, she just too busy for me. She don't have time. But then maybe I might have this person that I've been talking to, and they've been friends forever, and I know that I can trust them and call them. Now, how do they feel at that point? You know what I'm saying? And so one thing that I could say, I have my friend Carol, and I mean, we used to be together thick as thieves every day, all day, whatever. And one thing that we try to do, we try to text, hey girl, how you doing? Just checking on you. She called me yesterday. When I tell you she prayed a prayer over me, And it was like, thank you, God. And as she was praying, she was like, I know you've been on a trip. I didn't get a chance to talk to you or whatever, but I just want to let you know that I'm thinking about you and how you doing. How was the trip? And I was like, how we went on. We only talked maybe about 5 minutes total. And she said, I will not hang up this phone without praying for you, sis. Let's go. And she started praying over me. And just knowing, I don't ever feel like, oh my gosh, she gonna feel like I hadn't been able to call her, I hadn't been able to do this. And one thing about her, she supports everything that I'm doing, even if she can't actually be there. And I try to do the same for her. I feel like, I've been having so much to do. Haven't been there like I wanted to be. But even though I'm not there like I want to be, I'm totally there in spirit, totally talking to her. Hey, how did this go? Even if I'm not actually talking, but we're talking through text. So I do make the effort, and she makes it too, since our lives have changed. But we have decided that we're going to take a girls' trip. So I love it. I love it.
That's awesome.
That's good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I think that for a lot of us, we because we do form friendships, fairly in our teens, maybe as young kids in our teens and in our 20s. And what we do? We used to make pacts. I'm going to always be there for you. We're never going to be apart. And really, that's not realistic, right?
Right.
Because life is going to change. Somebody's going to get married, because, as young people, we just see that we see people around us forever. And we take for granted that something can happen to any one of us.
Yes.
And so I think that, we form pacts. We form pacts without the other person even knowing we formed a pact, or we might have done it together. In college, you're going to always be my sister. You're going to always be my friend. And, is it realistic to say? I think that hearing every one of you talking, we can make a journal on this. On this. When each one of us take a chapter, and when we look back to some of the people that was in our life from middle school. I was on line with you all yesterday, and one of my friends jumped on, her and her sister. And I mean, I've known them since I was in like 5th grade.
Right.
Now, we don't talk often, but it's so sweet that we still have social media as a way to connect with one another. Mm-hmm. And I remember thinking, I'm going to be around these girls forever, all the time. And we're not even in the same state anymore.
Yeah.
We got to be realistic in that and say, okay, you got married first. You had a child first. So I can't call you early in the morning. Maybe I can't call you late at night. These are the things that we got to think about.
Right.
And what about those people who don't think about them? Because, I mean, some of us are married, some are not. And you still have that person that may be calling you at, 2, 3, 4 in the morning, but you got a whole husband like next to you. I mean, are you to answer? What are you to do? Like, how does that work? I guess it's different for everybody depending on your situation. And some people might not understand that because as a friend, y'all been talking to 12, 1 and 2. Or they could call you at 4 or 5 in the morning, girl, you up? But you can't do that now, or can you?
No, and Renette, I'll respond to that because for me, when I was married, that was one of the things that I did was set boundaries. When my husband get home, I don't want to be on the phone talking to somebody. I want to be able to give him that time, right? So it's about communicating and setting boundaries and just letting, the people around you know what that looks like, and sometimes we may have to reiterate it. And for me, even now, I'm no longer married. I am single, but I'm an early bird. I'm up between 4 and 5 every morning. But that don't mean I want to talk, that I want to be on the phone. But my friends know that. That's my quiet time. That's my time to, I'm journaling. I'm having my quiet time with the Lord. I'm reflecting on my day, my week, whatever. So just because I'm up doesn't mean I necessarily want to talk. Sometimes people will see that I'm up. Maybe I'm online, but that doesn't give you the right to call me. So my phone is usually on do not disturb, but I've set those boundaries so people know after 7 o'clock a.m., you're welcome to call. Now, I may not necessarily answer, but most people know that most of my friends know that my do not disturb turns off. It comes on every night, regardless of who you are, at 9 o'clock p.m. and it turns off at 7 a.m. because I need that time to reconnect with myself, to decompress. And unless you're in my favorites list, you're not getting through. Even the friends, they know that. And they respect it because I've set those boundaries and I've communicated that with them.
Wow.
Yeah, that's really important that you set those boundaries. Because a lot of times as we were talking before about those boundaries, sometimes people get upset and they feel some kind of way, like, who does she think she is? Now she got this or that, or now she hanging with these people. Now she want to set boundaries. Like they feel like you're acting funny. So my thought was, a lot of times it's not what you say, but it's how you say it.
Right.
And then
Mm-hmm.
when you're not saying it in a right way, then people feel offended. And
Right.
so my thought is that you tell people, if you feel some kind of way, don't point out you did this and you doing that and I don't like it. If you could say, you know what, it really bothers me when this happens. And so you put it on you and how you feel. Because if somebody is your friend, to me, they should care how you feel. But when you constantly Gail said, accusatory, most people are gonna get an attitude. They're gonna feel some kind of way. You know, I probably feel, don't come accusing me. You know, so it's
Well,
definitely
Renette,
with me how you say it.
Renette, it's important to know. Like, I will go to my friends and I'll have a conversation. Okay, I don't mind doing that. I'll even warn you. Okay, but I'm only going to have that conversation so many times.
Okay.
And so, and my story. You know a lot that goes on behind what has gone on with me. I have lost a lot of friends here recently, and okay, that's fine, but there has to be boundaries. There has to be the way you speak to each other. Okay. That is important. But when you keep telling a friend over and over and over and over and over, hey, look, you can't do this. This is what's going on. This is why it is. And they are not accepting of that, then you just kind of have to back off a little bit. Maybe they'll get the point that way. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Because it's disrespect at a certain point. If you've been talking to them over and over and over, and they continue. Now I do have friends, because y'all can see I'm super extra. I'm hella extra, and so sometimes I mean, my friends would be like, Renette, some people can talk to me this way because they know I need to be like maybe reeled in, and I'm cool with it. And you have that relationship. But what you do with one friend, it may not work with another friend.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I think it's always reading the situation, reading the friend, knowing who they are, what they have going on. You know what I'm saying? But I'm at the space and place right now. If, like I said, if I'm doing something and my friend, they were my real friend, and then this is another thing about a friend. Some people can talk to me that way and say, hey, Renette, you need to do this, this, and that. And if you are my friend, I'm not the friend that need to be babysat. I'm really not. You don't need to babysit me at all. And I'm not going to babysit you. I'm not hand holding. I'm not going around the street, down the corner, this, that kind of stuff to babysit you. That doesn't work for me in a friendship. That doesn't even work with me in a relationship. Because I'm just not the one to. And I understand some people, you got to walk gentle or whatever, but I'm not one that, if I have a friendship where I have to walk on eggshells, we're not going to be able to be friends. I just can't do it. You know what I'm saying?
I love what Lily just said. She just said, all this definitely comes with growth. Sometimes friends don't grow interpersonally from youth. So you'll be speaking to a 20-year-old and a 50-year-old.
That is so good.
That is so good.
You all got to tell you, that's my baby. That's my
Your
daughter.
baby just put it down. Yes, Niecy, you put that thing down.
Yes, Niecy.
Okay.
Yeah. That
you
is
talking
true.
like you a seasoned woman.
I'm telling you. That was so good.
That's really, really, really good. So,
absolutely.
So, what do you do with that? What do you do with that if somebody is in that 20-year-old body a day? Because a lot of times I've seen where people have maybe been through a divorce and now they got married early. Now they want to live their best life and they kind of forgot who they used to be. So now they are that 50-year-old and that 25-year-old body. I mean, as a friend, I do believe that, certain things you try to work with people, but when it becomes overwhelming, you got to address it and, decide what it is you need to do as a friend.
Right.
Mhm.
And
Right. Right.
sometimes,
Yeah, 'cause
go ahead.
Was
I was
somebody
going
on
to
the?
say, Renette, because when that happens and people are trying to recapture their youth at later stages because they didn't grow, and we've gone through developmental things, and we're growing in different areas. And when that happens, what I have witnessed for myself, that most people just won't say anything, and they just go along with it, and they tolerate it, and they start becoming frustrated with the antics and the things that this other person is doing,
Yeah.
and that causes some resentment in the friendship, and then you start not wanting to be around them, and then you start lying and making excuses why you can't go with them, and go be with them and hang out because you don't want to because they acting a fool. So instead of just having a conversation and say, hey, I'm going to give you the grace to go find whatever it is you looking for,
Right.
be safe, but I'm not moving in that circle right now. Or because people are so afraid of being resented for telling the truth. People
Yeah.
don't
Right.
want to have those conversations and say, hey, I'm just not on what you on, but be careful while you out there doing that. I'm going to give you the grace and the space to do that. I understand, but holler at me if you need me. You understand?
Mhm.
Because
Mhm.
you have to be loyal. We always disregard ourselves when it comes to being loyal to ourselves and saying what's the truth, because we
Right.
always fear, most people, hurting somebody's feelings, or they gonna say, oh, who you think you are. Y'all know that saying, you
Oh
think
yeah.
you all that. I know one thing.
And
I'm
is
way
Yeah.
past
and
hanging out and
is
acting a fool in the street. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm way past all of that. Cause
Yeah.
I ain't doing that.
Right.
You know.
It's
absolutely.
okay to grow.
Yeah.
It's
It is
okay to
okay
grow
to
when other
grow.
people are not.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely. So with that being said, um, after you've grown, and maybe they haven't, maybe they went off on you. And as Lily said, sometimes friendships need
Friendship
breaks.
breaks are
And
needed.
so
Yeah.
Right.
at that point, how do you feel about breaks? If somebody has hurt you as a friend, friendship hurt is real, as we know. So
Mhm.
Right.
how do you move past the hurt and maybe continue to be their friend, but protecting yourself at the same time? Or is it just a no? Because sometimes, and we'll get into that, I definitely want to talk about what are the non-negotiables, because in friendships, because that's a spicy thing that we need to be talking
Mm-hmm.
about.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
how do you move forward, like I said, after you have been hurt as a friend, or maybe that person who has been the person that they have feel like that person has outgrown them, and so now they're hurt. That person got new friends. Um, is a break okay? Is that going to help it? How
Yeah.
have those breaks been?
Definitely a break will help it. Let me tell you something. Oh my goodness. I could write a book on this, but I'll just simply say it this way. I will come to you. I will speak to you about your behavior. I will stay. I'll have a conversation with you about it. Okay. Like I said, if it continues, then there needs to be that break. Okay. It has to be. And then I have learned now to go on with my life and what I need to do. Things are going to be painful. And you have to think about it. People have traumas and stuff they go through. They're treating somebody else the same way they're treating you. It may not, it's not just you. So that's something that maybe they need to work out. And as a friend, you pointed out to them. You're not trying to hurt their feelings, but you're trying to say, hey, look, kind of bring it down somewhat, I just lost a 10-year friend that just would not stop hammering. She's
Oh,
hammering at a time I didn't need to be hammered on.
yeah.
So you got to step back. So I separated myself. Love her to death. We'll always love her. But you cannot hammer on people and expect that they're going to stay your friends. And people have to understand when it's time to grow, when it's time to take on new responsibilities, it's time to do that. Okay.
Yeah.
That person's responsibilities are not your responsibilities. If they can come and assist at times, fine. If they can't, you still have to move forward.
Yeah, and
You
I
know,
want
I
to
remember.
share something as well. What I have a friend, and we're still great friends today. But several years ago, I want to say maybe even about maybe 8 to 10 years ago, She was in an emotional and mental, she was going through emotional and mental abuse. And it got to the point to where um, it was impacting our friendship and me being able to support her. So I had to step away and allow her to deal with that situation. So I did have a conversation with her and to let her know. I was like, hey, I see this is going on. I'm gonna have to step away because there were some serious things that were going on that could have impacted me as well. And at the time, that just wasn't something that I was willing to just continue. I supported her from afar. We had a conversation. We cried about it, but she understood because she knew what she was going through with her husband at the time, and she respected it. And once that situation was resolved, we were able to come back to our friendship, and now it's even stronger than it ever was before. But it was about having that communication. And it's not that I don't support you, but there was safety that we had to think about that was involved, not only for her, but also for me as her friend, because some of the anger started to come over on me because I was supporting her. And I couldn't put myself in jeopardy because that impacted my family, at the time. So we just had a conversation about it. We cried about it, hugged it out. And I loved her and supported her from afar for a certain period of time until that situation was resolved. And then we were able to come back together and kind of support each other in a different, a different aspect. But, sometimes we do have to step away. We want to support, but sometimes you have to determine, what does that support look like? What are you sacrificing to support?
Right.
So
Yeah,
again,
I
all
love
about
that, ladies.
communication.
I love that. I was sharing with Renette when we decided to do this episode about a friendship that I had with someone from middle school. We had been friends for many years, and I got married very young. I mean, me and my husband met in high school. So I was married by the age of 21. 21 for a lot of people is very young. I mean, my friends are still hanging out. They're not getting married, let alone settling down.
Right.
And we were very close. And when it came time for me I can't go out to the nightclub tonight. I got to go to work. I got an apartment to pay for. I have responsibilities. And it was a terrible, terrible breaking apart. And about maybe 10 years later, I was sharing with Renette that I was sitting home one night and my home phone rang. And it was a detective. It was like a private investigator.
Oh, wow.
And he said to me, he's like, are you Farah? There's someone looking for you. And immediately, because of that love, I knew exactly who it was. I knew exactly who it was. And it took time. And it took for her to be in a space of getting married. And I got dressed at her grandmother's house because we were very close. And she was getting dressed at her grandmother's house for her wedding. And her grandmother said, where's Farah? Like, this is a moment, a milestone that she should be here. Yes. And all of our friends said, you need to find her. Because I wasn't even living in the same state any longer. And when I got that phone call from that private detective, I said, give her my phone number. I want to talk to her tonight. And literally within 10 minutes.
Wow.
And, to see her as a wife, understanding that I got married young and was a wife. Now she was in maybe her late 30s getting married and having a child and stuff and getting married. And, we came back together. And so, we're very much in touch now, mostly on social media. But those years that we lost, it wasn't worth her being upset with me for getting married and I can't go out late. I can't be on the phone at night, Oh, you think it's all about you, you're married now. And this person, love will keep these relationships strong.
Yeah,
it will bring you back together. There won't be a tearing apart of friendships if that love is there. And although the anger was there because we both said some things, we didn't even bring it up. And this was probably 10 or 15 years later. I mean, my girls were a lot older. I think I hadn't even had my kids. Wow. And it was a beautiful coming back together, but it was a terrible breaking apart. It hurts when you depart from your friends who you make these pacts with. You were in each other's weddings. We shared the deepest things with people that we've never shared.
Right.
And so, there are some friendships that are so worth fighting for. And I am so happy for that moment that she was in that same spot and her family, they knew how close we were. It's like, man, where is she at? And all of our other friends like, no, y'all need to fix this. Okay, it's 10 years later now. Now you're no longer in your 20s. You're not in your teens anymore.
Right.
Absolutely. And stuff. And so I really know the person you were just talking about, Tammy. I don't know who that person is. 10 years is a long time. And as long as there wasn't any disrespect there and any real tearing up, tearing apart, to the point where somebody trying to slander you,
Right.
now that's a different story. Like that right there, that takes a lot of coming back from.
Yes, yes. Well,
That takes a lot of
as
coming
a
back
matter
from.
of fact, I do have a friend that I had to mend uh, the friendship with because she had one belief, and and it wasn't the way that it was told. It was not the reality of it. Is what she was thinking was not how it went. So we've ironed it out. We talked about it, and she's one of my closest, dearest friends. I love it. And then I have another group of friends that includes Renette, and they are the ones who will say, "Hey, look, what we not gonna do." And those friendships have lasted for what, Renette, 50.
Forever.
Oh
We're
wow,
50.
beautiful.
We are actually womb babies. We have been what, since 19, well, I won't give you an age, okay. But we've been friends for a long time.
This is spicy
And
season, sisters.
Right, right, right.
We spicy. We
And we're
Okay.
seasoned. We're seasoned.
Right. Yeah. So
Yes, we
we've
spicy
worked
and we
out any
seasoned.
differences that we've had, amongst us. And that's been beautiful. And so friendships can be mended, and you can go on and just love on each other like sisters and leave all of that behind. So I've had to do that
Yeah.
recently.
And I tell
I
you,
want to
real
read some of the statistics to you ladies, because this is right on point. So keeping friendships, healthy. Prioritize quality over quantity.
Yes.
Right? At this stage, meaningful connections are more valuable than a large social circle. So you just talked about that. Invest in a friendship that uplift, inspire, and align with your values. Make time if you can. Life is busy with careers, family, or other commitments, but intentionally setting aside time for friends is key. Schedule regular meetups if you can. Calls, text, or stay connected. Like you said, Renette, your friend texted you today, and just that 5 minutes was impactful. It was inspiring, and it showed you how much she
Beautiful.
loved you.
Beautiful.
Practicing empathy, because I mean, that's something I struggle with, is practicing empathy. And so even my therapist was
that's
like,
surprising, Farrah, knowing your personality and how you
Now,
move. That's really, really surprising. But
it it depends on what the situation is and who I have to show the empathy to. So like, if it's family and I'm like, okay, we've already had this conversation, like I'm over it. Or maybe at work, I do have moments where I'm not empathetic at all. So I do have to
is
work on
that
that.
many?
Maybe it is. So being a good listener, showing understanding and offering support, mutual respect and care to strengthen bonds, and celebrating life together, celebrate milestones. So maybe we can't get together often, but the milestones, I'm going to be there for you. You know,
yes.
like Renette is about to be honored out in Tampa in March. I am hoping, like, there's nothing on my schedule. I just want to go and support her. It's a milestone. So she's being celebrated. So I want to be there. We wish that Toya was closer so we can celebrate her birthday with her.
Yeah.
Yeah,
These are
we've been
things,
talking about that.
yeah, so we want to make sure that we're celebrating those small successes and victories. And this is the top one: respecting boundaries.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Respecting those boundaries.
respecting
That's the
boundaries,
top one. Yep.
respecting
Right.
boundaries. And if you
Yep.
are a true friend, I mean, you're going to understand that. And I truly believe that true friendships will stand the test of time. They
Yes.
will last. Sometimes we know that people are in our lives for a season and a reason. Sometimes they're in our lives, for a lifetime. And as Tammy was just saying, we have a strong friendship circle that is like gone through some things. And sometimes when you fall out with people, you might need a moment, like we
Yeah.
talked about. But
Mhm.
you know that friendship was strong enough, and you gotta, get a little bit of time. Maybe like Tammy said, you have to get the story. And sometimes people are really jealous of these friendships. It is people that come in to steal, kill, and destroy
Yes.
a friendship.
Yeah.
And to be
Right.
honest with you all, Tammy and I had that whole situation happen. What we had, like, somebody just came in and try to kill, steal, and destroy and just break
Right.
everybody up.
Right.
But no matter what, the test of time
Right.
happened. And right away, we didn't communicate as we should have as friends. And so when we got to the point where we could, now I'm the stubborn one, I will say that.
What?
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness. No.
No.
I
No.
struggle. I struggle with forgiveness. I have to really think through stuff, and I mean, nobody wants to be hurt, but I mean, I'm that person. Shame on you. The first time, shame on you, or shame on me. Shame on me. I don't know how that go, but what I know is that I once you do me wrong, I'm kind of done with you. It take a lot for me to come back, but I'm bigger now, better now at this big age. I understand forgiveness is for me, and so I'm glad that I was able to get things back together. And Tammy has seen just the full, how would I say, full throttle, of how our circle came back together. And I mean, we're closer than ever. And so now, because of sometimes things have to happen so that better things can happen. And so we've been able to we communicate on everything. This has helped us to become so much closer and to really communicate. And through that, and I'll be so honest, Tammy and I have been friends forever. And Tammy called me, and I always loved Tammy. I never had no problems or whatever. But because of our friendship circle and how things kind of fell off, as we came back together, now me and Tammy, I mean, we were already like here, but like, ooh, it's a whole different, like, ooh, I can't even describe, like, she know.
I do.
Yeah, it's so wonderful. And so what I want to ask y'all, with that being said, after you've been through a situation where you feel like it's been a betrayal and it was really ugly and nasty, how do you mend that back and not be like looking at people with the side eye as soon as the wrong thing happened or they gonna act this way? How do you move forward? How do you forgive? Or do you not?
So first of all, if you've forgiven somebody, forgiveness is forgiveness. Okay? If you're going to forgive them and move forward. You can't have that lagging behind you. My thing is now in life, I'm not pulling anything that went on back there into my forward steps. It's just not going to happen. So if it happens and you all have talked, you've mended, and the forgiveness has happened, that means that you are willing to move forward and you're willing to leave that behind you. Now that's something that I've had to learn. Okay, so you're freeing yourself of all of that old baggage. Okay, so then you move forward. If something happens again, talk about it, work it out. We have the type of group that we in that we can do that. Okay, we can do that, which is good. Okay, but move forward, Renette. Don't drag it. Don't drag it with you.
I don't do that anymore. I don't do that anymore. I never really drag it. I'm that person. I'm done. When I'm done, I'm done. And I mean, I don't, and a lot of that, why people act that way is maybe how they were raised, maybe what happened in your life earlier. So it's a form of protection. Not that I just don't want to forgive, but I have to protect myself and what I've been through. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why maybe a lot of times it's been hard for me. I'll eventually get over it, some things. And so as we talk about that, what is that thing that's just non-negotiable as a friend? Farrah and I talked about this. We must bring this up because, baby, somebody is going with your ex-man. Okay, let's talk about that. Ooh, yeah. So they going with your ex-man, but maybe y'all went together in middle school or high school. And you
I see
told them
Gail's
all the
face. I
business.
see Coach Gail's face. Like, what is happening?
Listen,
this spicy. This
listen,
spicy.
you know.
You gotta talk spicy.
Listen, what I'm gonna tell, I'm very much like Renette to a certain extent, because when you talk about betrayal and things like that, once I talked about this last week, once you hand me them scissors to cut you off, you off. If you show me who you are and I don't have trust for you, I'm not digging down in the treasure chest to find a little bit of trust for you. Now, if I say I forgave you, that means I'm not going to worry about you or the thing anymore, and I'm going to go on with my life. Everybody don't get to come back. I'm just not that chick. I just have never been. And if I'm wrong, that's between me and God. But what I will say is, I can't keep putting bricks in my backpack if I got a mountain to climb.
Thank
If
you.
you did something to me,
Right.
I'm not gonna put that weight and carry that energy where I'm going, because all it's gonna do is weigh me down. So
Yeah.
if I gotta fight to find whether I want to be bothered with you or not, I'd rather not.
Rather
I'm gonna
not.
leave you I'm gonna give you the grace to be where you at, and I'm gonna give myself the peace to leave you there so I can move on and go where I'm going. Now, when we talking about non-negotiables, I could care less about a dude. If you want to go behind me and jump up and down on some dude, that's your business. But what you cannot do is mess with my money and my kids.
Oh,
Period. My money
there you are.
and my kids.
Yes.
A man, baby, I'm already on to the next one. That's why you fooling with him. So I don't care nothing about that.
And this good old age.
Oh, it's spicy right here.
This
This
good old
spicy,
age.
spicy.
You know what?
Because the
I don't want
beginning is
to.
where you start, baby. It's
That's
always
right.
a beginning somewhere.
Yes, it
Somewhere.
is.
Ever since I was 12 years old, I ain't never had no problem been worried about no man ever. So
Yeah.
Now
that
you
can
may
have that.
be a little different, Gail, because I mean a lot of people not worried about a man, which is good. But if that was your man and maybe y'all were engaged and then now your friend, 10, 12 years later, they're dating.
I've had that happen. I've had a relative of mine, not a friend, a relative of mine.
Me and
go
Renette was
date a
talking
dude
about
that
this.
I was engaged to.
Yeah, we were talking about
I
this.
didn't have my mother had a problem. I didn't have a problem with it and that's why we didn't get married, because I wasn't where he was at. So that's why we never got married. But my mother had a big problem with it. And I was trying to tell her, Mama, I don't care. What do you mean you don't care? Y'all this and that. I said, Mama, I promise you I don't care. So my mother was more bothered than I was. And she was more so trying to make excuses and covering it up. And I was like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I really don't care. So that's I just have to take it with a grain of salt when it comes to relationships, because even at my big age now, and what I'm going through in my personal, in my relationship, in my marriage now, I don't trust nothing in nobody, especially after going through these last 15 years. And I look at how intentional we were about being together and getting married, and it was us against them, and we was doing everything together. And if for the bottom to fall out, when I put that much intention in something and it still turn out like that, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Right there with you.
Gail,
Right there with
that's
you.
good, Gail.
Let's hear y'all hear Pharaoh's. Well, Pharaoh's perspective is pretty much like Gail's perspective. It's okay. Is anybody on the other side, like, somebody went with your friend that was, maybe your ex-man, and maybe it's 4 or 5 years later? Is that okay? Is that a non-negotiable?
It's really interesting because like my sister was married to her husband for some years, and even though they haven't been married for over 20 years, he's still in our family. We have met multiple other wives and women. And I think that at our age, I think that, like my sister said, that's like my brother now. Like, I really don't even care. It's like that same thing that Gail was saying. I think that as we get older, I think that there's just things that just don't bug us. I think that, I don't know. I think that we're so mature that for me, I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm just thinking outside the box. I mean, we were talking about a celebrity. What's his name? The basketball player, Steph Curry. His parents are dating two friends that they were friends with, another married couple, and now it's like a switch off. And I'm like, well, they're older. Are they going to be alone? They know each other. That it's a familiarity there. It's like, I mean, even that person's still alive. So Renette is asking the question: is this person still alive? I think I'm thinking a lot towards like, what if somebody's a widow or
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and I think everybody has a different perspective. That's why I wanted to, talk about it. And I truly believe as you get older, you do care less. I mean, because it's a different space that you're in. And like we keep saying, at this big age, when you at this big age, you have a bigger mindset, a better mindset. Well, maybe if you were 25, that's
Oh
gonna
yeah,
bother you a whole
yeah,
lot.
yeah.
But now,
20 and 25. Somebody getting beat up. It's gonna be a scrapping. It's gonna be a mess.
What?
It's gonna be. I'm calling Gail.
Getting
I'm
the
calling Toya.
getting
I'm
the dog
calling
walk
Annie.
on that ass.
okay, baby, and I'm
We dressing in black.
ready, ready to
We
go.
dress-
You know what they used to say back in the day? Ready to
Getting
go.
drugged.
Yeah. Walk the dog, beat the brakes
Yeah.
off.
I mean, it takes so much growing up and maturing, and like you said, not that you don't care, but it's like I don't know.
I mean,
Now,
you
like
have a
Gail said, if
different
it's my
sense.
kids, if it's something, yeah, it's gonna be a problem.
Yeah, that's different. But I guess we have a different sense of peace about things that are happening. I mean, like you can't let every little thing, and that's a little thing. You're not with them anymore. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, let's address some of the stuff in the audience.
Yes.
Because I think we definitely need to do that. And I think it was KWE said when you lose trust, you lose respect. Definitely, because if we can't trust you, how are we supposed to respect you? You know what I'm saying? I don't want what she said. I don't want none of my.
I agree with
I
her.
don't
Me
want
too.
no
I
one
agree.
At all.
of my friends.
I
Been
don't
with
want.
here. Me either. I'm not
Me
that one.
either.
And my friend
I'm
been
not.
with them in high school as a grown person. Maybe elementary
Right.
that may be
That's
different or
different.
whatever. Elementary, that don't count to me. And somebody letting that count in elementary, and you mad about that? I don't think I can deal with you.
Right.
I
Oh
can't
my
take you
God.
seriously.
Oh my goodness.
You mad
Yeah.
because
And I
he kissed you
love
at the
what Gail
water
was
fountain.
sharing. Because when we are in relationships with another person, that person is we will hope that's our best friend. So yeah, now in
Right.
that case, because when there's a breaking apart, maybe you don't feel like you're friends anymore. My sister and her
Really?
ex-husband it's a joy to look at because all of us are always around each other. We do trips together, and he's like her
Mhm.
best friend. But you don't see that.
Mhm.
People, I think a lot of times
It
now
can
because
happen.
of the parenting thing, and as people break up and they have kids, because I've seen it before too. That's why I was asking the question. Where the parents, and I think Alicia Keys, they on that same type of time. Alicia Keys
Yeah.
and Swiss Beats, where they made friends with his baby mama and stuff
Took
like
some
that. So
time.
people, I guess it's more acceptable these days. Now, Lily say, in my mind, you must have been plotting because how did this happen?
I'm
How
with
did
Lily.
this happen?
See, back in the day, this wouldn't have worked. And you know what?
Right.
And maybe even biblically, it's not going to work, right?
Right. Right.
Because we know that a lot of people stay together because of Christ. Because of their beliefs in the Lord. Now, it doesn't mean that if it's meant to be over, it's meant to be over.
Right.
If you can't make it work, I mean, yeah, there's so many people who are Christians who are divorced. And and we move on, we go on. That's where there's grace, that's where there's a love of God. He knew that it was going to happen, but it is more acceptable nowadays, Renette, because back in the day, no, girl, you was in trouble. Do not even think about calling my ex.
Now,
What is going on?
For me,
I ain't
and just
admitting to nothing
for the
on here.
record, I'm just gonna say for the record, I was married for 24 years with my ex-husband for 30 years. At the end of the day, we're cordial. We're gonna always be in each other's lives. We have kids together. We're gonna have grandkids together. But I don't want to be friends. I can be a good co-parent, but when I say friend, that term means a lot to me. So
Okay.
at the end of the day,
Mhm.
I can be a great co-parent, but I don't want to be your friend. And I'm
Okay.
good with that. And I have peace about that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
makes a lot of sense. I got a doozy for y'all. Let's talk about it. So y'all 40 plus, most
Yes.
of us have older grown type kids or whatever.
Yeah.
So is that okay for your friend to date your child?
No.
Ooh,
No.
no,
No.
absolutely not. I told y'all my
But
money
they
or
grown.
my
Is that
kids.
not okay?
Listen,
so
it's
if
not
your
okay.
That's
child
still my
turns
child.
5,
I want to
No.
go on the record and tell y'all just go on and have the bail money ready.
Yes,
Because your
thank you.
girl not going to be ready.
Latoya,
For
I'm
me,
with
it
you.
is not okay. So I'm going to
I'm
be calling
with you.
I'm gonna
somebody.
be A-crime all day
It
long.
happens.
I'm gonna be
Yeah.
I'm gonna be
I'm
locked
with you.
up and they won't let me out.
Out.
Understand?
I'm
Oh
with
my
you.
goodness.
woo,
That's a tough one right there. I can't even imagine my kids dating somebody who I'm friends with.
I don't
No,
even
me
want to
either.
date somebody that's my kid's age. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Dating your
See,
kids'
that's
friends.
the thing now, though, is that, even in our age right now, I mean, my daughter's friends, they'll see me in a picture with them. They're like, who's Bae? And they're like, that's my mother.
I get the same thing. Yeah.
yeah.
They're like,
No.
no, that's my mom.
Yeah, it's enough
It's
for me.
hilarious, but that doesn't even matter anymore. And there are a lot of older women our age dating their kids' friends,
Yeah, no,
No.
it's a no for me.
No. I just
and
saw
vice
today.
versa.
I saw today on the news where Eddie Murphy's ex-wife, Nicole Murphy, is dating Michael Jordan's son. She's 56 and he's 33 or 36.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan's son again is dating another. Oh, I can't. This is the
I
second
thought he was
celebrity he done
dating
been.
Scottie
God, I'm
Pippen
so over
wife.
Nikki Murphy, Nicole Murphy. She's
He was
been
just dating
Girl,
Scottie Pippen's wife.
Yes.
yeah.
Oh
I
my
thought he was
gosh, I
dating
can't.
Scottie Pippen wife.
Well, I just saw
Oh,
today
Yeah.
before
God.
you came on.
Girl, he
Yeah.
running through him, ain't he?
So
Literally.
obviously, if this is happening, maybe people are okay with that. I guess. I mean, it's
He
like
like them menopause
Obviously, it's
draws.
happening. So
Oh my goodness, what is happening?
okay.
He
Let's
like
go with this.
menopause draws.
Let's go with this. So I know someone. They were best friends in school as children throughout life, and the best friend, married the girl daddy.
oh no.
What?
Oh,
That's okay. Is that a done friendship? I mean, because that's gonna be your mother-in-law. Your best friend is now your mother-in-law.
It's not okay with me.
It's not okay.
Listen, it's
No.
not okay with me, but if honey, they get with my daddy, baby, they gonna be trying to bring him back, honey, because he ain't got no act right nowhere in him. You understand? So go over there and mess around and find out if you want to. Don't call me. Don't call me.
But so it's
wow.
non-negotiable. So y'all do have non-negotiables when it comes to children and parents. So they can't go
Yes.
with your daddy.
No.
Your friend can't go with your daddy.
No.
Yeah, they can. They gonna come back. They gonna be complaining.
Mine
Right.
can't.
Okay, ladies, here's the thing.
No.
All these silver foxes running around, these girls, all these equal silver foxes.
Oh, yes.
Listen,
Yes.
it's a facade, ladies. Stop it already.
I promise you.
I mean, they must
I
be after the
promise you.
pension. They must be after the pension. I don't know what's happening right now. I
Wow.
don't know.
I mean, cougars are a big thing these days. Cougars.
Yes. Yeah.
And people used to say, "I don't want no old man. He got worms." But now the young girls, that's what they used to say. But now they looking for them. They seeking them.
Girl, ain't they looking for him?
You know, I have a
Managing
question.
money.
I have a
But-
question
but
for you
look-
guys. I have a question for you ladies as well as for the
audience?
ladies. Yeah, for the audience. So, what's the age range that's being considered as a cougar? What's the age difference? I guess.
Oh, wow. That's a good one.
I don't think like one year or 2 year. I don't think that qualifies as a
5.
cougar.
At 5. I
Five?
think me personally 5.
Okay, I've been wondering.
5 or more years?
If somebody's 5
You
years,
said
Tammy shaking her head. What you say, Tammy?
5. That would make no. Renette, do the math. 5.
No, David, no, don't put me in that. It can't be 5.
No, I would say
okay,
10,
for me,
10 or more.
I mean,
10 or
it
more?
depends, because
Is it
some
10?
people, they love younger men, and then some
Yeah.
people like older men. So I mean, I would think that I wouldn't, nobody that's 5 years younger than me. but somebody that's 10 years older than me, I don't know what they call a man that's older. Are they a tiger? Are they a lion? I don't know what
Sugar daddy. They don't know that's a
Oh,
sugar daddy.
Sugar daddy.
Sugar daddy.
Sugar daddy.
First of all, ladies,
That's a sugar baby. Let me tell y'all something. The
but
world
now
has
they're calling us
changed.
not cougars any longer. Now we're the rich aunties.
Oh, okay.
So why they want to go with that auntie?
I'm a rich auntie. I'm a rich
The
auntie,
rich
y'all.
aunties.
Oh, the
Okay.
rich auntie.
The
Okay.
rich
Yeah.
auntie's supposed
I
to
just
be,
look. I might just need to be an auntie because I don't know like what categorize the rich part. I might just need to be the auntie.
Yes. Because
Well,
it used to be the woman looking for a
I'm
man
gonna
with
do
attention.
that.
Now
Right.
the woman's
Okay,
looking for him.
Latoya.
I'm gonna just be the rich.
I'm just being spicy, y'all. That's all.
I'm gonna just be the rich.
Baby.
Just
Don't call
rich.
me auntie. I'm just gonna be rich. Okay.
Wow.
Hmm.
So you
I'm
know
just
what?
be incognito because I ain't admitting to nothing on this live podcast. You
my
understand?
Hey, me either, Gail.
I'm
love
not
it.
finna do it.
Hey.
I'm not gonna do it. But I tell you what, Mr. 49, I'll call you later.
So look, ladies, I'm going back to Renette's last question about
Okay.
reconciling with friends. One thing we want to acknowledge the conflict, avoid ignoring the issue, speak openly about what caused the tension, take
Right.
responsibility if you've been the one to contribute to the conflict. So take responsibility, apologize sincerely, and then communicate honestly. And this was Renette just said this too. Discuss feelings, expectations, and concerns without blame or criticism. So you did
Right.
say that in order to win the argument, because that's what we try to do, give time to heal. So although we're telling Tammy, it's been 10 years, that friendship is worth fighting for, maybe there needs to be some space for healing.
Right.
And forgive. This is the part, Renette, that me with the empathy and then you with the forgiveness, because I will cut somebody up at the knees and keep on going.
Okay.
So we have to forgive and move forward, letting go of the resentment because it doesn't do anything for us. And then in maintaining the friendships, we got to be flexible. That's at our good old age, we don't want to be flexible, ladies. We want to just do what we want to do. Sometimes,
Yeah.
sometimes we don't want to be flexible. And what about this? Expressing gratitude.
Right.
Oh, I'm big at that. I believe in
I
that.
love
I believe
that.
in that.
Gratitude determines
Absolutely.
your altitude. And it's very, very important, especially at this age. I mean, God wants us to be grateful. He wants us to appreciate. And so as I totally, like, I love you ladies. I totally appreciate you all. And I value my friendships. I have different circles. I have my girls from college. I have people from elementary, young, Tammy. All of my friendships are so special. Even if, maybe I met them at work or maybe I met them at an event or whatever. So I definitely like to show gratitude. I love to live and give and spend time and laugh and just have fun. And I try not to, like, that's my only thing. Having a lot of circles sometimes as a person that, loves on women. And I can't even believe I deal with women like that because, it's like, ooh, pinch myself because my mom say women losers and users. Don't be dealing with them. So now that I do have, these circles of friends, sometimes when you bringing them together, it don't always work, so that can sometimes cause issues as well.
Yeah.
So I always think about that when I'm doing certain things and making sure that, I'm not spending too much time with this one and too. And if you are a friend, you shouldn't really, like, I don't never feel like, oh, they ain't talking to me, but they talking more to them because maybe that's a new person in the circle.
Right.
Maybe you do have to nurture that because it's new, but you're not necessarily ignoring that person. It's just so many different nuances with the friendships. And so we have to be willing to, like Pharaoh said, forgive. We have to be willing to compromise. And the biggest thing we need to do is be willing to look at our part. What is your part?
Yeah.
Right.
What did you do?
Yeah.
And if you can truly say 100%, like, I really gave it my all, I did the best I could, then, you did the best you could.
Yeah.
And so if you've given it your all and you've done the best you could, hey, give yourself grace if that friendship falls apart. And then if it's meant to be, it'll happen.
Yeah.
You know, so
And you know, Renette, this last one, and this is something you say all the time: be present and be authentic. Not present maybe with Gail in the room, but I'm present when she needs me.
absolutely.
I'm
Well, that's
present.
me. That's me 100%. Yes.
That's true, Tammy. Tammy, and that's what I love about us because we're so present with each other and
Right.
so cognizant of, you know, whatever we have, whether it's a family situation, whether it's a bad day, they're always
Right.
getting on me about eating because I run and I'm busy and I do try to eat, but they told me they were gonna put me off the stage tonight.
Tonight. Yeah.
And they all ganged up on me, like, whoa.
Yes.
We did. We
Like the
did.
That's
Apollo.
love.
Like
That's
the
love.
Apollo.
And
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, they did, but we ganged up on Farrah and Yale last week
Yeah.
because they just, especially Farrah, that she always you know, it wasn't feeling good for about a week and a half. Yeah, I'm putting you out there.
Yeah.
And then she got her some rest and she felt better.
I did.
Yes.
Feel so
Friends
much
are supposed
better.
to care. Gail, she will rip and run as well.
Yeah.
And she was
I will.
she was going through it. We stayed on Gail, didn't we, y'all?
Yeah.
Stayed
Y'all
on both.
did.
Yeah.
Wow.
So as
Y'all
friends,
really
we want
did.
friends that care.
Care.
Friends that look out for us. And that's what we have in our circle. And my
Right.
friends, that's one thing about it. They may not hear from me all the time, but baby, they got an issue or problem. Who? The
Yeah.
girl was there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that be the friend that you want to have.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
I would say.
Oh,
Be
I
that
have no
friend
problem with
you
that.
want to have, you know?
Mhm.
And so
As a
yeah.
matter of
So
fact, on this live, let me just say right now that to all my girls, I love you and thank you. I am right now, I don't have stress issues with friends. Whatever we talk about, whatever we deal with, girl code, not girl code, it doesn't matter. We are purely in good spaces and places, and that's
Yeah.
where you want to be in these friendships. And Renette, I love you. I thank you. And you know what I'm talking about. Okay. So,
yes,
yeah.
yes, yes.
Yes.
I'm sure we all feel the same sentiment, especially at this big age. I can't be in a
Mm-hmm.
friendship that's stressful. I'm too grown for that. I'm too old for that. Like, if you want to be a friend that's stressing and pressing on a problem,
Yes.
I'm going to love you, but I'm going to love you from afar. If I got to
Yes.
look at the phone and be like, I can't right now.
Yes.
Why am I your friend?
Right.
I don't want to be that friend.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I want to be a friend that can be a friend. I don't
Right.
want to be a friend stressing to pick up the phone or she always doing it. I don't have friends that's users and losers. I've been real, intentional about my friendships. I can't be friends with everybody. And then
Right.
what I want to say is, as we know, everybody can't go. As you moving forward, everybody can't go, but guess who else can't go? I can't go if I was the old me. If you the old you,
Right.
you can't let her go.
Right.
Right.
Because when you keep bringing and dragging along the old you and you wonder why these friendships not working, sometimes that you can go. That
Yeah.
you needs to go bye-bye and learn how to really be a friend so that you can keep a friend. And I'm talking to people that really recognize that dog every time you turn around. Okay, you the common denominator. We got to talk about this because a lot of people might be looking, and I know we're a little over time, but I just have to say this because we didn't talk about it. And I already said we're not babysitting, we're not holding hands, we're not going down the street and around the corner. If you the common denominator, and every time you turn around and you backstabbing and you gossiping and you telling people friend business, if that's your friend, and then the other person is your friend, this friend should not know this friend business, and that's not the friend. We can't.
Right.
That's not the girl code. That's not the real code. Because I had somebody tell me I don't care about a girl code.
Right.
If I want this person, I want this person. That's not.
That's not how it goes. Exactly.
So yeah. So like I said, if you that person, you put the little girl in the corner. Because it's time at this big age to be doing something different. So maybe she can't go. And you need to find a new you.
True.
So I had
They're not big enough to do it.
Yeah.
Well, when you go to the fair, they tell you got to be this tall to ride this ride. If you ain't talk this tall to ride this ride, you can't come, baby. You're not in a position to ride this ride with me. So if you cannot meet that criteria and your mind is still impacted with juvenile thoughts and tendencies, baby, you're not tall enough to ride the ride. And don't be surprised when you gotta stay back and watch everybody else. Again, people tolerate people with those tendencies because they don't want to say something. But again, enduring all kind of foolishness and stress and tension unnecessarily instead of having a conversation that maybe that person wants somebody to care. Maybe that person needs somebody to say, hey, don't you think, what do you think, what needs to happen for you in order for you to feel like you're growing in a different direction? Because if you don't have these conversations, guess what's going to happen? They're going to keep doing it.
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I know we have to close out, but I'm going to tell you all real quickly that I have someone who was my best friend, my friend for 20 plus years. And the friendship didn't last for whatever reason. And this week, I don't know why this week, but a lot of things they were putting out and saying were not true. Okay. And so the people, when people know who you are, they can respond on your behalf without you even being there. Okay.
Absolutely.
And this is so important too. So I just wanted to put that out there tonight.
Oh, that's very, very true.
Absolutely.
Very, very true. Because, baby, somebody say something about y'all, baby, I'm going to respond on y'all.
We already know. We already know.
Oh, my goodness.
Love it.
Oh, for sure. Y'all,
They
we
gonna
have been coming on here now. We are Spicy Sisters Season Podcast, and we are so excited, so ignited to come and bring forth this type of spicy talk, these spicy conversations that people might not want to talk about, but like we kind of grew up, you know, what happened in the house stayed in the house, but baby, we done broke those walls.
Yes.
We in nobody box. We not being held back, pushed back, okay, stopped. None of that, because we have to get this word out and help women that are 40 plus really live out loud and move past the negative belief systems, move past the things that are holding them back. And if you have friendships that are holding you back and you're being tolerated instead of celebrated, you need to evaluate that, because you need to know who you are and whose you are. And God don't just tolerate you. He made you for a purpose. And so you should be celebrated. I ain't in nobody friendship where I'm about to be tolerated, because if you got to tolerate me, you ain't got to tell me bye. I'm just gone.
Yeah.
That
I
part.
know who I am. And I'm going to be where I'm celebrated. And I'm going to celebrate other women.
Amen.
I'm going to celebrate my friends. I love y'all. And one thing, if y'all look on all our pages, we sharing, we celebrating, we congratulating, we toasting it up and doing all that. That's what real friends do.
That's real friends.
You know, it ain't no competition, no comparing, no competing, no none of that. It's collaborating and it's real love. Real love.
Oh, yeah.
I'm talking about that real love. I can't sing, but y'all.
Someone to set my heart free. Real love. I'm searching for real love. Yeah,
I'm doing the auntie dance. I'm doing the auntie dance. Got my boots on.
You doing your Mary J. Sarah?
Yes, doing that Mary J. dance. That auntie, you know what that auntie. The rich aunties.
We play too much. We play too much, y'all.
Hey, we always down to clown. We gotta play. We gotta laugh. We live, love, and have a whole lovely, wonderful life, because we love things to be beautiful.
Beautiful.
Yes.
I love it.
Yes.
All right,
Thank you all. We enjoyed you all. I hope you enjoyed us as well.
Yes. Thank you for tuning in to Spice Night, ladies. Spicy
See y'all next week.
Yes.
See y'all next week for Spicy Night. Don't miss it. We will see y'all next week. Good night.
Good night.